Ponzinomics, politics. The fix. If what you're saying is true, I'm so often asked, why hasn't the government prosecuted the MLM industry? You think you know more than the FTC and SEC or Congress? Wait, with a derisive laugh, are you saying the government is in on it too? My answer to that question is seldom well received. For calling out and protesting conflicts of interest and revolving door payoffs from MLM, especially at the FTC, and linking regulatory inaction to political influence peddling, I am rebuked by colleagues for crossing a line, attacking allies, impugning the character of honest civil servants, or, in seeming contradiction, for holding unrealistically high expectations for integrity from government. The nation's political leaders know the facts of MLM and its dire financial and social consequences, but allow it, profit from it. This is too much to point out, bordering on conspiracy theory or anti-government nihilism. Yet just as dissection of MLM's defining elements reveals a calculated swindle, the record of government toward MLM lays bare the nasty reality of a political fix. MLM is sustained not by law or markets, but by Ponzinomics, a delusional belief system that relies upon and requires government complicity. President Trump's direct and personal role as MLM's namesake endorser and his ceremonial anointment of Betsy DeVos from the Amway family to the presidential cabinet only made official what has been going on for 40 years under Democrats and Republicans. In 1982, just after Wisconsin's prosecution of Amway for deceptive income claims and false solicitations, Amway was prosecuted for massive criminal tax evasion by Canada. Amway pled guilty and paid the largest fine ever levied by that country at the time. Wisconsin and Canada's findings provoked no interest at the FTC or Congress. Tell-all books were courageously published in the mid-1980s by former MLM adherents Stephen Butterfield and Phil Kearns, which revealed not only pervasive deception, but also an enormous and secretive business in tandem with Amway to induce recruits to buy books, audio tapes, and to attend costly seminars, all additional costs for the elusive success. 4 more books were published in the late 1990s about a pervasive culture of deception within multi-level marketing, destruction of relationships, violations of trust and ethics, and the relationship of the model to pyramid fraud. Curiosity at the FTC was not piqued by any of the books. A series of FTC and SEC prosecutions of smaller MLMs revealing remarkably similar patterns of deception and consumer losses were conducted in the late 1990s, and a new consumer organization, Pyramid Scheme Alert, was created in 2001 to address documented deception and consumer losses in all MLMs. Regulators paid little attention. A national expose aired in 2004 on NBC Dateline that used hidden cameras and testimonials from victims to document the false income claims made at Amway's ubiquitous recruiting meetings. No inquiry from government followed. In the mid-2000s, 2 more remarkable books were published offering first-person accounts of the deception and mind control employed to lure people into pursuing the Amway promises of income. The writers were dismissed by Amway as disgruntled and were never consulted by authorities. In 2007, the government of England sought to have Amway shut down as, quote, inherently objectionable. Among the findings of UK regulators, 71% of Amway's UK salespeople earned no commissions at all. Of the 30% that earned some commission, 2/3 of them earned, on average, just $27 a year. UK authorities discovered that 75% of all commissions paid by UK Amway were transferred to just 101 salespeople positioned at the top. Even so, United States regulatory authorities showed no interest. American news media never reported the prosecution. In India, Amway CEO was arrested for violating state laws against pyramid schemes. American media ignored it. No U.S. law enforcement followed up with Indian authorities. Despite events and increasing documentation available on losses and lies at an industrial scale, the FTC, SEC, or the FBI were not moved to reconsider the premises of the 1979 decision or take any further look into MLM. Allowed to make occultic claims of unlimited rewards based on an infinite, non-diminishing market for all who believe and pay, Amway devolved from a pyramid selling scheme, the progeny of Neutralite, into what author Stephen Butterfield called a mind-controlling cult. Scores of new MLMs spun off from Amway. All enjoyed the broad political protection that Amway gained for direct selling and developed powerful tools of persuasion. The commissioner who wrote the FTC's acceptance of Judge Timoney's pyramid scheme ruling in 1979, Robert Pitofsky, became FTC chair in 1995 under President Bill Clinton. His hand-picked director of consumer protection, Jody Bernstein, later became a lobbyist for Amway. Like the comforting legends of direct selling and income opportunity that shroud the MLM business, regulators and lawmakers are swathed in their own protective myth of good government, valiantly battling evil pyramid schemes. Government often fails, the tale ruefully admits, but not due to corruption or neglect, but devilish maneuverings of highly paid pyramid lawyers, inadequate statutes, uninformed legislators, and insufficient budgets. Pyramid fraud endures despite government's good faith effort. To mention a fix, political payoffs, and revolving doors between regulators and those regulated is insulting, impertinent, wrong-headed, and irresponsible. The public is expected to be grateful, at least for the work of regulators, however inadequate. Legend and myth. MLM's mythic promises of income opportunity began pouring out across the country as legendary Reaganomics promised morning in America. Millions of households signed up for an increasing array of MLMs. Optimism, always with the smiling face of MLM since the days of Dale Carnegie, was national policy. This held true even as factory jobs went overseas. Wages declined, corporations downsized, and small-town economies collapsed. The experience of losing money in the new MLMs and the conflicted personal experiences in the recruiting schemes were swept into the powerful national messaging that now mimicked MLM's storyline. Jobs were demeaned, entrepreneurs and wealth exalted, the poor reviled as losers, social services were diminished, deception or pollution in the cause of commerce was rationalized, and violation of social bonds for financial gain was justified. Communities and even families were deconstructed into isolated individuals in a winner-take-all free market. The film Wall Street opened in theaters in 1987, in which ruthless corporate raider Gordon Gekko, played by Michael Douglas, captured the national mood, proclaiming, "Greed is good." In the emergence of MLM at this time, a new business model was born, nurtured by official FTC assurances that it was not a pyramid scheme, but direct selling, and that its income promises were, if not fulfilled, still legitimate. The inherent deception of an endless chain, the foundation of all previous prosecutions of pyramid and Ponzi schemes, was reinterpreted. All pyramid schemes are inherently illegal. Some are more inherent than others. In the new ideology of Ponzinomics, the American dream was franchised as a pursuit of wealth at the end of an endless recruiting chain. All future MLMs would enjoy legal status and claim the same miraculous economic powers beyond all other businesses, jobs, or profession. As the self-proclaimed standard-bearer of the American dream, MLM pledged a safe haven from global market and government forces to restrict it. It claimed to deliver what the American dream promised, suppressing the terrible truth of MLM that it is the antithesis of this dream. A social and financial nightmare would require a political fix of global proportions.